Hey everybody, Ritchie Yip here. Today I'm going to talk about Daniel Pink's A Whole New Mind. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book, and also I'm going to talk about how the book has helped me and how it's helped my business, and how I run my business based on a lot of the concepts from this book. So it's really interesting in the sense that what Pink has done is that he has taken the whole idea of right brain and left brain and really steered it towards how the modern economy works. Left brain thinkers are very logical, they're analysts, they're information based thinkers. Right brain, it's more conceptual, more creative, more artistic. Now, the way that Pink says the way he explains right brain versus left brain is that healthy individuals use both. Like you probably are very analytical at times, but as well you are very creative. Now, because of the world as it is now, information is cheap. You can get this book online. You can get it as a free PDF if you want to read it off of your smartphone or your laptop. You can get summaries like the one that I'm doing, right? But what I'm doing is that I'm taking this book and I'm basically creating a story. I'm crafting a story in how this has helped me. And hopefully you'll find this more interesting. And that's basically what Pink says. Information is cheap. You can go and you can hire somebody in India. You can outsource and you can get somebody who has a master's degree in law, and you can get them to do your legal work for you for a fraction of the price than if you hired somebody locally. So he's saying that the way the economy works, information is just so much cheaper. And that what you really need to focus on is sort of this new economy where it's more focused on right brain, more creative. To specifically talk about how this has changed my business, I have a martial arts school. I teach martial arts. Martial arts has never been more accessible because of YouTube. You're probably watching this through YouTube. And on YouTube, you can watch endless jiu-jitsu instructional videos. There's so many, and they're great. They're wonderful, right? There are so many YouTube instructional videos on jiu-jitsu that you can't watch them all. So really, how do you capitalize? How do you go and monetize being a great jiu-jitsu instructor? Well, for me, what I've been focusing on is to provide an outstanding sense of community in my school. You cannot get that online. You actually have to come to a place. And so Pink describes this in 6 distinct attributes. All right. So let's talk about the very first one, design. All right. So design is a right brain creative aptitude. And so how this has helped me. Right away, my school, I think it's gorgeous. I'm in my school every single day. We have 2 facilities. I walk in, I think they're palatial, they're beautiful, right? The colors on the wall, how clean it is, the equipment, how everything is set up. It is aesthetically pleasing, right? We have flowers in the bathroom, right? Like it is a place that looks inviting, right? And that was really important to me. Jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, all you just need is a space. I've taught classes outdoors. I've taught kickboxing in a park, right? So I want to go and create an environment that is aesthetically pleasing, right? So that's really, really important. Design, even our website, right, is aesthetically pleasing to me. The pictures are professionally taken. The pictures I think are stunning. The website design is just very friendly. It flows. Right? There's a certain movement to it, is engaging, right? And that is a part of crafting the community as a part of the school. Pink also talks about story, to create an engaging story. Now, I'm not just giving a summary, I'm providing a story, right? Like this is the story of how this book has helped me and my business, right? Furthermore, when I teach a technique, I just don't go step one, step two, because that's boring, and you can get that from anybody. A lot of the times I'm in there, I'm teaching a class, I tell a lot of jokes. Some of them are funny, or at least I find them funny. Some of them will get a lot of laughs, but it doesn't matter. I do my best. They're probably pretty corny, right? But it's a part of the story. Also, I've been doing martial arts since '97. So I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, I've got a lot of goofy, crazy stories about training martial arts. And usually when I teach a technique, I'll say something like, the very first time I saw this, did this, had this done to me, it's a usually really weird, wacky story that my students find interesting, right? Like it just colors the technique as opposed to just a bunch of steps, a bunch of moves that they have to memorize. It just becomes more lively, right? It becomes more engaging, right? So you want to craft a story, and that's what Pink talks about, using your right brain aptitude to be creative and engaging. Pink also talks about symphony. Symphony is bringing a bunch of disconnected elements and bring it in together in a fluid manner. There's a certain concert in which way things are executed. Certainly, teaching martial arts, things are taught in a combination. Jab, cross, hook. Now, you can go and you can bring things into combination, into concert, and make it very boring. Now, for me as a teacher, I like to try to make things as entertaining as possible, because if you're bored, you're just not going to learn. So what do? Well, I may teach the jab, cross, hook, but I may teach a jab that is countered by a hook, but then recountered by a left hook from the very first person. So jab, you throw the cross, I'm going to recounter with a hook. Suddenly, it becomes this parable. Suddenly, this set of techniques becomes alive because we're having this conversation, and it's a combination you've probably never seen before, even if you've been doing boxing or kickboxing for a long time. And I try to go and cleverly bring things together in a symphony that you haven't seen, that makes it more engaging, that makes it more fun to learn, and ultimately more fun for me to teach. Pink next talks about empathy. Empathy is just basically being able to feel what the other person is feeling. Being a great teacher demands empathy. And I want to do my very best in reading the group, making sure that everybody's having a good time. If I'm losing some of the students, maybe I'll demonstrate it again. Maybe I'll change the technique. But I want to feel what they're feeling. Right? And that's the service that I provide. I'm not just there to just spit out information. I'm there to make sure that they're having a good time, right? I also, this sounds kind of strange, but I actually teach empathy too. Now, how do I do that? Well, in my classes, everybody's partnered up. You need to learn martial arts with another person. You're fighting with someone. You need somebody else to train with, to fight with. And what I say is that you want to be engaged, you want to be empathic, you want to go and really, you want to non-verbally communicate with your training partner. And from there, not only will you become a better teacher, because all of my students are teachers. I teach I teach all of my students to teach, because that's how you become a better person. In life, hopefully, no one will ever need to go and do an armbar from the guard, on the middle of Main Street, right? Because some jackass is trying to steal their wallet. Hopefully now that'll never happen. But in your lifetime, you'll probably have to teach somebody something, right? Whether you're a parent, you're a coach, you're a manager, or whatever, right? To be able to do that and be able to teach somebody something in a caring manner, you need to be empathic. Now, when you're empathic with your training partner, when you're sparring, when you're training with them, right, you will be a better fighter. It's strange, but you will. If you can feel what they're feeling, are they anxious? Are they tired? Right? Are they angry at you? Right? You can feel that, and you can use that against them. Okay? But developing empathy is huge if you want to be a better person and if you want to have more people like you, right? It's really, really critical. It's critical for your business as well, and important for if you're in sales, right? Play. Pink talks a lot about play. My group classes are fun. That is super important. That's actually it's in the hierarchy. In my classes, the very first thing is I want everybody to stay safe, right? Martial arts is inherently dangerous. So it's important that everybody stays safe. I put in a lot of safety procedures in my classes, right? So number one is safety. The second thing is fun. I want everybody to have a good time, right? It's good for business if people are laughing and having a good time doing martial arts. That means they'll want to come back, right? And then third thing is that if you learn something great, right? That's awesome. I want them to have a good time. I want them to get in great shape, get a good workout in. If they learn something, awesome. But that's kind of third. That's kind of third in the hierarchy, right? So what Pink says, and I thought this was really interesting, is he says that a lot of people think that, I work hard, I play hard. So that means that the opposite of play is work, right? The opposite of play isn't work, it's depression, right? You're depressed, right? You don't care, right? I want my students to care, right? And I want to care about my students. So nobody has more fun in my classes than me. I tell corny jokes. I have more fun, right? I've at this stage of my life, I've probably taught at least 10,000 classes, probably more, and I will teach 10,000 more, hopefully more than that in my lifetime, right? So I'm doing so many classes. I should be having the most fun because I'm always in my class, right? So play is critical. Play is critical, and play is critical for your business as well. You want to make sure that your clients are having fun, participating in whatever service that you're providing, all right? Last thing that Pink talks about is meaning. Like, why? Why should I consume your service? Why should I purchase your product? Why? What is the meaning of it, right? Now, for my business, it's about a sense of community, right? This is something that you cannot consume through the internet. You cannot, the sense of, when you walk into the class and there's all these people here, sometimes there's multiple classes going on at the same time, the music's pumping, everybody's hitting pads, jiu-jitsu classes going on, you can feel the energy, you can see people smiling. When the bell goes and people are ending the round and they're starting up the next round and people are high-fiving and they're fist bumping, that sense of community I think is priceless, and that's the number one thing. That's the number one thing I'm trying to cultivate as a whole. That's what I talk to. That's the issue that I try to discuss the most with my instructors. When we have our instructor meetings, we're talking about community. This person will be a great addition to the community. Wow, great class last night, Blair or Migo or Tom. Just a sense of community, the sense of camaraderie was just awesome. That is what I talk about. That sense of community is what I'm trying to craft, and that is the meaning of what we're trying to do. It's not about teaching people how to armbar, teaching people how to throw a perfect side kick. That's irrelevant. That's actually irrelevant. It's about everybody hanging out. That's the meaning of our business, to build a community. And that is something that you can get from my business. You can't get just from learning a sidekick off the internet, because there's lots of great instructionals. Type into YouTube right now if you want how to do a sidekick. Great. Go find a friend, right? Buy a kicking shield. They're cheap, $60, whatever. You can do it in a park, right? But you need that sense of community, and that's what we provide. So A Whole New Mind, Daniel Pink. I read this a couple of years ago. Love the book. Pick it up. I hope you enjoy it.